Hey, what's up, Stringlings? Today we're going to take a look at my first impressions of the BexGears 8-string guitar kit. Let's check it out. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I love building guitar kits. This one, both of these, those are kits. My Telecaster is over there. The Luonotar PR style guitar is in progress. And I just love it. It melds together a bunch of hobbies that I love. Woodworking, music, building stuff, talking to you guys, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a thing that I do. Well, one of my fans sent over this out of curiosity. It's the BexGears 8-string guitar kit. Now, I'd never heard of this company. I saw them on Amazon, and I thought, okay, well, there it is. Let's check it out. So they sent it over, and I'm glad they did, because we have an opportunity now to take an unbiased look at another company that produces guitar kits. So let's talk about it a little bit. This is only my first impressions. I have not built this guitar yet, so things can change, and things will change as they go along as I try different things with the finishing and the electronics and whatnot. But this is the instrument. First, I have to say, first impressions, I've got a pic here somewhere. The packing job, top notch, absolutely top notch. My understanding is BexGears themselves, their website at least is based in the US. They only ship to the US, so I was only able to get this in Canada through Amazon. So I provided the link for that if you want to check it out. This was the last one they had in stock. They might restock, the link is there. Do what you will. This is the guitar. Again, it's not finished. All I've done is a really quick preliminary job, just making sure that the neck fits. That's job number one on any kit. Make sure the neck fits and lines up, and it does. So let's get into first impressions. Like I said, the packing job is phenomenal. All the parts are in there. I checked and double checked and counted. It looks like the electronics are solderless, which is kind of cool. I haven't done a solderless instrument. I'll let you know how that goes as we go along. Generally, people who are purists don't like solderless because it's not necessarily as reliable. That hasn't been my experience because I've never used a solderless instrument. If it becomes a problem, you simply clip it and solder it as you normally would. So we'll check that out. Now, in terms of the construction, first the neck, you can see it has kind of a double stripe feature. I don't know what the woods are. The neck I'm pretty sure is maple. It says composite ebony fretboard, and it has a poplar burl top on the body, and they've actually gone something other companies haven't done is also veneered the headstock to match, which is a really nice touch. This lamination with the stripes, the support stripes, actually does go. It's a little hard to see. If you can see, you see how it shows up in the peg holes? That's an indication that it actually does run the entire thickness of the neck, which is very cool. It's quite a flat neck. I think it'll be very fast. I don't play a lot of 8-string, so this is new territory for me. So I'm looking forward to that. The frets, they feel good. They feel fine. I did a quick check on the neck. It's straight. There's no issue structurally. Take a look structurally at the body, and it's okoume, which is like it's similar to mahogany in terms of working, and it does have a seal on it. If I understand the website correctly, the company is based in the States. The kits are made in China. That's not surprising, and I don't honestly care where it's made as long as it's made well. We're at a point now, I think, in history where we can accept that you can get quality merchandise from other places. I mean, Yamaha is still making some of the best instruments on the planet, and that's not made in the USA. So that part of it, I don't get hung up on that detail. Here's where we're going to find out what the details look like. So all of the routing is done. The only thing they haven't done is they haven't pre-drilled the screw holes for the pickups. That I don't think will be a very challenging operation. It's just wood. When you look at the body itself, this is where things start to go a little bit off, just for me as a designer, from a design standpoint. You can see this little bit of wood here on the corner is lighter. That means this was laminated from several pieces glued together to create a body. if you're going to end up with a little notch like this, it's just a detail. But if I want a wood finish back, this is going to stand out. So I may have to do something with this so that it blends in a little bit better. It's not a big deal. It's just a little annoyance. It's very often to have composite bodies where you've got multiple pieces of narrower wood laminated together. That happens quite a bit. The screws sit in flush. There's a tiny bit of gap around the neck, but as I said, it's straight and it sits flat, so that's fine. If I'm going to have a pet peeve, this is a burl veneer top, as you can see. Okay, and with a veneer, it's usually on guitar kits, it's usually paper thin, so you kind of have to work it a little bit, but try not to work it too much, or you'll end up going right through it, as I have done in other guitars in the past. But why, if you're going to put burl on, would you have this part of the burl? Can you see this? It's like a different color. It's, when you follow the grain pattern, it's not patched on. It's a single piece, but it has a sudden and abrupt change of color here on the upper horn. So I'm going to have to do something with that to match it with the rest of the body. Secondly, with the veneer, normally on a guitar, if you have a burl top, you try to book match it. So that means you have two pieces that you match down the center line so that they create a reflected image. That hasn't happened here. This is just glued on. So you just take a sheet of veneer and glued it on. From a luthier perspective, that's just the laziest way to do it. You're literally just taking a picture of wood or a slice of veneer that's paper thin and just gluing it down as is and trimming it and saying, look, poplar burl veneer, super cool. There's knot holes here. I don't care about this. This is going to be under the bridge. This one might be a pain to finish if any glue has leaked through. So that's another thing to watch out for. Mostly it's pretty flat though, so it feels okay. It's just that there wasn't any kind of design aesthetic to it. And the final thing that I want to point out, and I'm not saying that this is going to be a major detraction because I don't know yet, but look at the holes for the strings. They're not even close to a straight line. It's less obvious on the back, but look at the front. So this is where the ground wire would come out and be attached under the bridge. This hole has somehow jumped and attached to it. This is not even close to a straight. Look at how far off center this is. This is all offline. So I won't know until I get the bridge on if that's going to interfere at all. I don't think it will, and there's always a fix for it. But is it going to do something with the functioning of the bridge with the saddles? I don't know. It's a little bit irritating. Here's why it's irritating. Okay. It's not an expensive kit, but it is one of the more expensive kits I've seen online and purchased. I didn't purchase this one, but when you're going to do something like a kit, if you're a manufacturer, please listen to this, okay? This is 2022, and everybody is doing these on CNC. Everybody, okay? So there's no reason for a drill hole to be out of alignment at all. This is all done by CNC unless it's being done by hand. If it's being done by hand, you need to pay attention to things like those lines, because if there's an error on the CNC carve, it's going to screw up the whole build and it will make the guitar unplayable unless you have a really good fix for that problem. There isn't really a good fix for this other than routing it out and putting in more of a floating style or embedded type bridge. This is a through body type stringing system. So maybe we can work it. We'll see. But the thing is, if you've got a kit that's pushing $300 Canadian and you expect the buyer to put it together themselves, if there's some assembly required and it costs as much as an entry-level guitar in the same category, right? I bet you could find Jackson's, in an 8-string model for around $300 Canadian, certainly used. And there are entry-level models of everything. I'm sure Harley Benton's got something similar, right? If you're going to ask the end user to put it together themselves, it has to be of at least as good quality manufacturing as something they could buy already complete. If it isn't, then why would I buy a kit I can buy any guitar for $300. Don't say that it's about, the process and joy of finishing it and assembling it, because I can buy any guitar for $300, sand it down and paint it myself. It doesn't have to be a kit, right? So if you're going to sell a kit that needs full assembly from the get-go, make sure that it works, right? Make sure that that there's some quality control. I don't know how this passes. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it can be indicative of a problem down the road. And if I can do this good a job or better with my drill press, why would you expect somebody to shell out $300? It's a quality control issue, and it needs to be addressed. There are companies, these guys, Solo Music Gear in Toronto, fantastic kits and top-notch customer service on top of that. So if you get something that isn't right, they will fix it. They will send you something new to work with. Okay, they do all of their cuts on CNC, and right now, as far as I've seen, all of the newer stuff that's coming out is basically flawless. So if you're paying this much for a kit, Solo, if you're listening, 8-string, right? 8-string metal guitar. We can sell that easy, right? Because, I got this one. So, yeah, overall, the construction is good. It feels good. It feels like it's going to play really well. I have a good feeling about this guitar. It's just a couple of things. I think that the veneer work is kind of phoning it in a little bit because they didn't bother to book match. There's veneer on this guitar, and it costs less than this one. And it's book matched, right? So there's no particular need to just kind of cut that corner. And the drill work here is it bugs me a little bit. Not enough for me to send this back to BexGears and say, this is, take this away. I'm going to do it anyway. And I think we're going to get a really killer guitar out of this. The pickups are included. I don't know what they sound like. If I don't like them, you can always upgrade pickups easily. Talk to Chris at Peg City. He'll do anything custom at a really, really reasonable price. But other than that, yeah, that's my first impression. So great packing job. It's well constructed. Everything fits. But a couple of little details with the alignment on the routing and the veneer work. Which again, maybe I'm just being overly aesthetic about it, but those are my thoughts. So that's the very first impressions on the BexGears 8-string electric. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a member of the channel. We're going to do more in-depth tutorials when we get enough members in to shoot those. But as this goes along, I actually can't wait. This is going to be just a couple of weeks because once I do a little bit of sanding and staining, we're going to go into a tung oil finish, and it's going to be beautiful and dark and nasty. So looking forward to that. So thanks very much for watching, and I can't wait to talk to you a little bit more about this as we build it. Have a great day.